Yeah, I don't know. Kicked me out for some reason. I don't know. We must have been generating too much energy or something. Got the electronics malfunction. So I was gonna go for a few minutes longer. So I guess I'll just finish up and keep going. All right. Shreem Brzee, 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 Stream Brizzy, Stream Brizzy, Stream Brizzy, Stream Brizzy, Stream Brizzy. Stream Brizzy. Okay, so we're just gonna conclude it right there. Sorry for the live stream. The original one shut down. Kicked me out for some reason. I don't know what happened. Messed up the whole mojo flow, Joe. But it's still all good. We recover. I'm just gonna assume that we were drawing in so much spiritual energy, we just started messing up the electronics. But yeah, two things. Thank you for dropping in, tuning in for the session. So two things. Yeah, while we was live streaming, I started laughing. That's why I started writing stuff down. I literally, got some unexpected money while we was chanting, and then which led me to two. Y'all came in. I forgot who exactly, but y'all were like, "Oh yeah, I'm glad I hopped in because it was new moon." You know what I'm saying? I just realized it was new moon. Da, da, da. Yeah, and to be honest with you, not too long ago, I recently learned, that new moons are powerful as well. You know what I mean? So we chanting on a new moon right now, which is probably the reason why I'm over here. I'm looking. I can see a drop down notification like, "Hey, your payment's on the way." Like I'm like, "Damn, man, forgot about that money." I was kind of a while ago. I was like, "Hey, uh, you know," I was like, "I think I got some more money coming, but I don't know." You know what I'm saying? I was like, "Nah, I think I got all the." So I must have, made some type of somehow. Exactly. It's unexplainable. You know what I'm saying? What you gonna do? Argue with where some money came from? Doesn't matter. What's the science we know? We know that you chant Shreem Brzee, money comes. I'm not one to ask questions. I don't care about the mechanics. I just know, boom, I chant Shreem Brzee, boom, the money comes. You know, I'll figure out the logistics and the details later. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, yeah, you see, that's just what several live streams in a row. It's just miraculous stuff is happening. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh yeah, some unexpected money came, and y'all are in the chat. A person as well is like, yeah, I just got some unexpected money too on Cash App. Psst, proof is in the pudding. Results, results, results. Results speak for themselves. Stream Brazil, powerful. This energy work we doing, powerful. These meditations and these mantras, powerful stuff. Y'all dropping in every time on these live streams and or whenever you catching the videos and watching it, boom, and then we all upgrading and accelerating our spiritual evolution together, and we all taking it up a notch. Mm, yep, yep. I feel like it's even more about a lot. We got a lot going on right now. Yep, yep. Celebration of Devi. Yep. hmm So, and I always like to leave y'all with a little story. What can I tell y'all? I had one, but I need to think of two because I don't want to leave y'all with a sad little story. But so I'll say I'll give y'all two. Okay. Got the first one. Let me just think of it because I don't want to leave y'all and then you're like, oh, that's kind of sad. No, it's just I just like to show y'all miraculous things, but sometimes miraculous stuff ain't always happy. But let me see. Okay, yeah, I got two slash maybe three. All right. So first one, so I just like to keep y'all updated. Y'all my little personal book club type shit. So I'm reading the autobiography of a yogi right now. And it's a different reality on the other side of the world, the Eastern Hemisphere. You know, these miraculous things and stuff like this, us going over there and chanting Shreem Brazil, you know what I mean? I feel like over there it's more normal, you go over there, you see yogis in the Himalayas with these miraculous, spiritual CDs activated and all these superpowers and stuff, doing levitation and bilocation and instant manifestation of physical objects and all that stuff. That stuff is very much possible, very normal, more even so over there. I feel like so less crazy. You know what I mean? So one story, young Yogananda on his spiritual life journey or whatever before he becomes a great, yogi and guru. Uh, this is at the end of his journey. He became a guru, whatever. He just opened up his own schools and stuff, and he got his own little, hermitages and slash ashrams or whatever, spiritual centers. He just, he got him, and he's got the youth going through there, and he's creating, and he's teaching and coaching up, young little monks and gurus to be, you know what I mean? Teaching them all the spiritual teachings and all that, do all the great things, that they can do. So after class one day, they're coming up to Yogananda and, uh, once you're enlightened, you have all, pretty much the powers of God, and you activated and you can do pretty much like anything, all these miraculous things, and one is, omnipresence and, uh, and being psychic and being able to tell the future, whatever. So all these kids is coming up to him. Oh, Yogananda. Oh, what's my life gonna look like? What do you see? What's gonna happen to me? What am I? He's gonna be like, oh, kids coming up to him. Oh, what's my fate, Yogananda? What's my fate, Guru? He's like, oh, you're gonna get married. He's like, what? No, I'm gonna be devoted to God my whole life. I probably He's like, no, little one, you've got a beautiful bride waiting on you in the future. Don't worry, you won't. You're not gonna be a saint forever. Unfortunately. He's like, no, I promise, I'm gonna be right next to you my whole life. I'm gonna be. He's like, no, trust me, you're gonna get married. And another kid, he's like, oh, okay, yeah, what am. He's like, you're gonna get married too. I'm like, no, I'm gonna be, It's like, yeah, don't worry, And then another kid, he's like, hey, what's my fate, Yogananda? What's my fate, Guru? He's like, you'll be dead soon. It's like, you're gonna be dead soon. He's like, oh. Yogananda immediately felt bad because, you know what I'm saying, he's just, going into, enlightened God mode, you know what I'm saying, going into his, little mode and seeing the future or whatever. Yeah, crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's over there, going into a trance, you know what I'm saying, and seeing their futures, and he's just telling them what it is. So he's probably over there like, oh, Guru, what's my fate? And he was like, oh, you're going to get married at 35, and you're going to have a beautiful family. Oh, what's my fate? And he's like, oh, you're getting married too, and then a little kid is like, oh, what's my fate? And he's like, oh, you're about to die. He's like, oh. He's like, whoops, I ain't even. So he felt so bad that he told the kid that, you know what I'm saying? And he was just like, damn, like I was just, in the mode, like I was just spewing out what was these kids' real future reality is going to be and stuff. And so he was like, okay, damn. Like after that, he stopped taking questions. He cut it off right there and he just went and he meditated and he was like, yeah, it's messed up what I did. Let me go, So, and the kid was like, all right, Guru, like, if that's truly my fate, will you promise to find me in my next lifetime, and find my next body incarnation and, and make me your disciple and teach me up again or whatever. Pretty much just will you find me, you know what I mean? And come get me again, And he's like, he felt so bad. He was like, damn, like, yeah, I'll find you in your next life, And so what happened with the boy was that he said, what's going to happen is you're going to be pulled from the ashram, you're going to be pulled from this little spiritual center and brought back to your hometown. And after you go back to your hometown, you're going to die. And he was like, what? No, I'm never leaving here, So He was like, "There's no way I'm going home. I'm not leaving here. So I'm not about to die." He was like, it's that's what's gonna happen. That's what I saw. You know what I mean? Now the future isn't all the way set in stone, but it's like based on the energy, the given energy, momentum right now, the momentum of the energy right now, presently, these are the future most possible possibilities. You know what I'm saying? And it's always one that's going to be your future possibility, but it's always a possibility, not always set in stone. But you know what I'm saying? Because we have free will, things can be changed. But there is certain things. It's like pretty much like fate type deal. The energy momentum of this certain outcome is extremely strong to where and there's karma and stuff involved to where it's really not going to deviate from this certain path, but there's always possibilities. It's always just a possibility, but it's not always true. But he said, yeah, you're going to eventually be pulled from here and then you'll die. So what happened was his dad came to the spiritual center, with Yogananda. He's teaching up all these little kids, got all these kids being young little gurus and yogis to be and stuff, you know. And, a lot of parents just think about it. They're living with some man and he's teaching them how to be a little, a little monk, Not everybody's cool with that, so his dad's like, oh, I don't want him over there no more. So he came and was like, hey, you're coming with me, Kashi. Kashi was like, no, I'm not leaving, 12-year-old boy. He was like, no, I'm not leaving, Guru told me never to leave, if I leave here, I go home, I'm gonna die. And the dad was like, nah. So the dad eventually said, nope, I'm bringing the police to drag you out of the school. So he came with the police and, made threats like, oh, yo, gonna no. And the kid, forcibly, through force, he went with his dad and went home. And so what happened was he went home. Dad fed him some contaminated food. Now this is in India in the early 1900s. So food and medicine and all that and health stuff isn't as great as it is now. You know what I mean? And so the kid ate some contaminated food and he got cholera, contracted cholera, and died. You know what I mean? And then the dad eventually came back to the spiritual center, to the ashram, to Yogananda's, little spiritual facility where Kashi was, his son. And right when he pulled up, Yogananda seen them like over the bridge, over the far yonder or whatever, about to come to the spiritual center. He seen the clothes they had on. It was like mourning attire. He said it had like morning clothes, probably like funeral type clothes. You know what I mean? Like, so he seen and he was like, ah, yep. He was like, my vision was true. I see it's confirmed by before he even walked up. Like he seen him. He was like, I knew the kid was gonna die. And I see you coming back, and I know he's probably coming back to tell me what happened. But he's like, just from seeing y'all clothes, he's like, oh, I already know. So Yogananda starts yelling over there. He's like, ah, Mr. Murderer, you're back. And I'm like, oh, damn, like this is a whole enlightened guru, you know what I'm saying? Can manifest physical things at will, levitate, walk through world, do all this crazy stuff. And he's over here, you know what I'm saying? He still is a human being and, loses his, gets emotional, you know what I'm saying? Still a human. It's just, that's what I like to see, you know what I mean? Like, oh, they can do all these great things with it. It's like, yeah, they're still human beings, you know what I'm saying? So he's like hurt. He's like, yeah, he's connected to these children, you know what I'm saying? He's coaching them up to be these great, enlightened beings of the future and stuff and following his path, but their parents are coming like, I ain't really digging this stuff you just brainwash my kid. Nah, come home. And so kid told his dad, and the guru told him like, if he leaves here, he's gonna die. He comes home. So he comes back and he's like, oh, Mr. Murderer, you're back. He's like, and the dad is like, yeah, I'm sorry. I went against your word. You were right. I took him home, and like you said, he went home and Kashi passed and shit. So he died. uh, so yeah, but not so sad. Like he said, hey, will you find me in the next lifetime? So fast forward, some years down the road, it wasn't too long after, some years or whatever, but you know, Yogananda was meditating or whatever, and then he was suddenly inclined to go to a certain city, and he felt like it was the kid, it was Kashi or whatever. I think he said he heard his name, uh, or he just got, divinely guided to go to the city. When he got to the city, he said he was in the middle of the city, and then he heard, "I am Kashi, I am Kashi, I am Kashi," and he's like, "Oh, okay, this must be where, he's reincarnating at." You know what I mean? So he sat in meditation. He went and meditated, and then he was like, "All right, when it's Kashi, I'll know." You know what I'm saying? So he was walking by this certain street, and the when he walked to the street, he felt cold chills down his spine and his back and stuff like that, and tingles and all this stuff, and felt chills and stuff when he walked on a certain street in that city that he was divinely guided to. So then after he got to the street, he started walking down the street, and then when he got to a certain house, he felt some more tingles, and I think he might have heard his name again. And um, yeah, got to a certain house, and he was like, "Oh, this must be where the kid is being reborn. That he must be in some pregnant woman's stomach." So he goes, knocks on the door, and he's like, "Damn, I don't know how to tell these people how to start off with this. Tell them, hey, they son is somebody who is reincarnated, one of my reincarnated disciples or whatever." But knocks on the door. Dad answers. He's like, "Yeah, yeah, your son, whoop de whoop." And the guy's like, "Shit, I believe you." He's like, "All right, cool." And so, long story short, kid was born. He found, Yogananda or whatever. The dad even ended up naming him, giving him his same name, Kashi. They said when he was born, he still had the same physical traits and stuff. He looked the same as his other body, you know what I'm saying? As his past life, past physical, body that he had. And then he didn't end up being a disciple of Yogananda, but he ended up being a disciple of somebody, Yogananda coached up, or, disciple of a disciple, or somebody he was cool with and knew, or someone. But, so yeah, it all worked out. So I guess it wasn't such a sad story. It kind of, was had a happy ending. But yeah, just in case that was too bogged down, I had another one. But real quick, somebody asked a question. I'll answer that first, and then I'll tell you all the last little story, and then we'll get out of here. All right. Do you think taking a break between long periods of listening to Stream Brzee and then re-listening makes it more powerful, or is it better to keep listening? Keep listening all the time. All the time. Just keep listening all the time. Don't take no breaks if you can. If I could, I would be chanting Stream Brzee 24/7, but unfortunately I have physical life duties and all this stuff, and but there will be a point where I'm just chanting. I plan to do chant for 8 hours straight, and then my next one after that is 24 hours straight. God damn it. I want to see what crazy stuff will happen. But yes, as long as you can, as prolonged as you can, no breaks, trying, ongoing as possible, as long as possible. But yes, you can take breaks. There's nothing wrong with taking breaks. But it'd just be more powerful listening as much as you can. Old video I made, little Stream Brzee hack, if you got AirPods and stuff like that, uh, put it in your ears and then just play Stream Brzee. And that way it's just constantly bumping into your third eye all day. 'Cause that's another powerful way. What we're trying to do is implant the vibration of Stream Brzee into our third eye and or our throat chakra. Those are powerful energy centers to where Stream Brzee, you picturing in those centers is manifesting better, faster, more powerful. Okay, last story. Uh, there was these three hermits, these three great holy saints that lived together or whatever, and they manifested their miraculous divine little powers and stuff, uh, with just one simple little mantra that they had. You know, they said their little mantra, they just kept it simple. They would just say, "We are three." You know, they would chant, we are three," and something else. And, you know, and that was their little specific mantra. And they, you know, had all their uh, spiritual, you know, abilities and, you know, and powers that they could do or whatever. And so some religious man comes, you know, quote unquote religious man comes with the, you know, the Bible and, you know, some holy books, texts or whatever, and telling them some some prayers to pray. He's like, "Oh, you want to do these prayers or whatever. If you do these, say these prayers, you'll be blessed by God and da 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 and all your problems." And they're like, "Really?" You know, like, "All right, you know." And they like, "Oh, the only prayer chant we say is we are three, uh, we are blessed, we are three." And then they, you know, so the guy comes and they live on this isolated little, I don't know if it was type lighthouse or isolated little island, you know, all by themselves, just the three of them. You know, they just sit in their meditation, do their little yoga poses, and the only little mantras they chant is, "We are three, we are three, we are blessed by, you know, the heavens, we are three." That's it. Comes, no, you should be saying these prayers, you need to follow, you know, gotta read these scriptures, these and do these prayers, and, you know, pretty much saying like, you're, you know, the stuff y'all doing is saying is wrong, you know, y'all little spiritual practice is wrong. So he comes by ship, you know, and sails out and, you know, tells them about those prayers and stuff, and then he leaves. And then they said while he was leaving, the guy looks back and he said in the distant waters he could see something, you know, encroaching up on him, you know, some little object getting closer and closer to his ship. And then he said when he looked and it was getting closer, he said he looked and it was the three little hermit guys, the three little yogis, holding each other arm in arm, you know, holding each other arm in arm, running on top of the water, chasing down the boat, you know what I'm saying, at a fast speed, you know what I'm saying, chanting their little mantra, you know what I'm saying, we are three, you know, blessed by the heavens, we are three, or whatever. Catches up to the boat and he's like, hey, he was like, we just wanted to catch up to you and tell you we already forgot the prayer that you said. What was the prayers that we should do? And he was like, what? So literally, they're literally holding arm in arm and they're just running on top of the water next to the boat. You know what I'm saying? Defying gravity and physics. And the old little priest or whatever, a holy person, is like, oh, damn. He literally told him, never mind. Throw out the prayers I told you to do. The ones y'all are doing obviously must be the right ones to do. And that probably priest, religious person, or bishop, whatever, probably started chanting their mantras and doing their prayers or whatever. But, you know, that was just a little funny way to where they were like, nah, we already blessed by God. We are in tune with God and enlightened, performing this miracle right in front of you, walking on top, running on top of the water, caught up to your boat. And then they ask, yeah, what was the prayers again that you told us to do? We already forgot them right when you left. What was it again? And he's just like, they're freaking running on top of water. I probably need to do their prayer. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't. How you gonna run on water if you're not divinely blessed and, you know, in tune with a certain spiritual entity or spiritual energies and all that. So little humor. So yeah, thank y'all for stopping by for this session, man. Good little chanting session. We'll do this again soon. Love y'all. Peace. Oh, hold on. We had one question. For someone who is new to Stream Brazil, do you suggest first listening to Ganesha Mantra or the Neela? Do straight Stream Brazil. Let's go to Stream Brazil. Do straight Stream Brazil. Another secret for y'all as far as gurus and yogis and all that goes or whatever. And same principle here. You see me, I practice Shreem Brazil, you know. I'll tell you, and I do as well, you know, every now and then the Ganesha mantra before, you know, Ganesha mantra is about Gum Ganapataye Namaha. But Shreem Brazil by itself, some people just do Brazil. I do Shreem Brazil, but really it's just focusing on one mantra at a time. Because if you go to, you're trying to become, you know, like a holy saint guru or yogi, and you're, you know, literally, you know, these gurus and saints or whatever, they, when you're on your spiritual path, you're becoming a monk and stuff like that, they give you one mantra at a time. They just give you one, and you just focus and you practice that to the T until you master that one mantra. Then they'll give you another one, you know, another yoga method, you know, posture, practice, or mantra. They give you one at a time until you master it, you know what I'm saying? There's no jack of all trades type energy. You want to be no jack of all trade, master of none. You want to essentially put all your eggs in one basket. You know, that's why you see me only doing Shreem Brazil. I don't do Om Shreem Brazil Namaha. You know what I'm saying? I'm mastering Shreem Brazil first and seeing, you know, everything that can happen with Shreem Brazil, you know, first. And once I got that mastered, then, you know, I'll move on to another mantra, isolate that and practice that one heavy. And then, you know, that'll just be added to my other mantra practices and stuff like that. But yeah, no problem, no problem, family. Thank you for the questions. Thank you for the questions, because we all get to learn and grow. You know, I might not have I got all the information, but I might not can dish it out because nobody's asking the right questions. So appreciate that. Yeah. So yeah, so just keep it simple. One mantra at a time. You know, master that first, and just, you know, because it's just a little more thinking like, oh, okay, I didn't do this mantra, let me do this mantra, and, you know, just do one and boom, you know, because essentially it just covers, they're all in some shape, form, or fashion universal, you know. One mantra covers one main thing, but they hit other characteristics too on the head, you know what I mean? So yeah. Thank y'all for that. Love y'all. Till next time. Peace.